Okay, hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Once again, it's Theo Siri, your instructor, and I'm back at you with a another mini lecture. I try to give about one or two of these every single week because there's really not that much information that I need to be throwing at you throughout the week about technical writing. I could go on really long diatribes about different types of technical writing, but you have the book, you have the internet, you're able to figure it out. And from what I saw in the last exercise, you guys do pretty well about that kind of thing. Um, we're still in the resumes. We're still in the professional portfolio uh, unit of the course, and this is where we do the resume and we do uh, the career analysis and we do the cover letter. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about resumes. I'm actually not going to do a lecture this unit about cover letters because I do feel like it's pretty straightforward. Um, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Um, I used to work in the chef industry. And so I can't say that this is transferable to other industries, but I remember that we did not actually read a lot of cover letters. Um, because a lot of times um, they're written in the same language as every other cover letter is written. So we kind of just passed them off when we looked at their experience, and we looked at largely the main thing we looked at was the experience that the person had, whether or not they had been to school, and most importantly for us, and I think it's going to be the same in a lot of your guys' fields, is who you worked with. Who you worked with and how, what have they done? And how have you learned from that particular experience? Whether we like it or not, pedigree really does matter. And so you'll see in a lot of these career fields, you'll see these people that are following around these really prominent uh, members of that particular field, and kind of kissing tail, whatnot, whatever you want to call it. But they're trying to just get in their sphere of influence and to learn from them, and in their resume be able to convey that they've learned from them and that they worked with them. I hate to say it, because I don't agree with it. I really don't agree with it. But name dropping really does matter. Okay, before I begin, um, by the way, don't take that as my main philosophy on getting a job. I'm just trying to give you a real and honest understanding of what the job market is out there, what the professional world works with, and how you get jobs and whatnot. Sometimes the things that happen are things that we don't necessarily like and things that we don't morally agree with. And I'm not saying you have to engage with it in that frame of reference. But I'm just trying to tell you that there are people out there that are. I'm going to give you the term sycophant. I'm not going to put it up there, but there's the term sycophant. You know, there's a lot of people that are only out there to self promote themselves and advance themselves based upon, you know, getting close to the people, the important people in networking. And networking is very important. But the thing that I don't want you to do is ever, you know, there's a time for playing the game. Everybody has to play the game. But I'll be honest with you. My hope for you is that you don't ever compromise yourself. Compromise your beliefs, compromise your upbringing, compromise your family for a job. You have to have a locus of authenticity about what you do. You have to, whatever you do, you know, my family motto, my family actually has a motto. My family motto is failure in the right is better than success in the wrong. Um, and I firmly believe that. So there is a time to play the game, but then there is a time to defend yourself. Not defend yourself, but to be able to say, you know what, I'm not going to go there. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Okay, on the 13th, which is the next class, you're going to have a peer review. I'm going to email you tonight with instructions. I'm going to email you each individually with instructions as to how to do that peer review. It will be very clear what to do. You're going to email it to one student, and they will critique it, and then they will, then you will critique theirs, and then you will email them. You will also copy me so that I see that that transfer has been done. If I cannot stress this enough, if you do not submit a rough draft, you are not eligible to submit a final draft. I don't put these dates up there just for, whatever. But I do believe in getting an adequate peer review. So you are required to have this done on February the 13th. Your final is not due until the 18th of February. So whatever you can get in on the 13th. Okay? All right. Does anybody... Of course you're not going to have any questions right now. I'm talking to a recorder. But if you have any questions, just email me. I've been actually doing a lot better with emails lately. All right. So the 13th, peer review, have a rough draft ready to send to a partner by that date. And like I said, I'm going to give you the instructions tonight. Oh man, it turned out blurry. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about things not to do in a resume. I can talk to you forever about things to do in a resume, but A, your book does that, and B, we pretty much all know what to do on a resume. But the thing that I've seen in my career is that a lot of people have done a lot of things that you should not do on a resume. And I don't want you guys to make those mistakes, because those mistakes are often egregious. And like I've told you before, I want you to be the most, not physically attractive, and we'll get to that later, but the most attractive candidate, the most viable candidate for the job. So don't make these mistakes, because too many people do them. Okay? So I'm going to give you a bunch of examples, and I'm trying to keep this under 15 minutes, of things that you should not do. You should be taking notes right now. That's the first thing, okay? This is a little reference from The Onion that I have. Yeah. Okay, we've been given this myth, this really stupid myth, that resumes should only be 1 page long. I've always been very skeptical about that. For one, the resume should be only as long as your field requires. My resume is 10 pages long, but that's because the field that I work in requires that. Academia requires that. My chef world, when I was a chef, about 1 to 2 pages. But if you really listen to this 1-page rule, and you did every resume tip correctly, and you got to 1 page, what are you supposed to do? Retire? Does that mean you're done? Because you can't go over another page. If you go over another page, you're unhireable. No, that's absolutely not the case. If it goes over 1 page, that's absolutely okay. So long as you're not adding superfluous material in there. So long as everything that you're putting into the resume is relevant to the job to which you are applying. Does that make sense? Just nod your head. Okay, you're nodding your head. All right. So if it goes over 1 page, that's okay. Then again, if your prospective employer says they only want 1 page, then do whatever you have to do to make it 1 page. I don't know, write in 8-point font. But normally no one would care. No one really sits there and is so picky about, oh my god, it's 2 page. Not only am I going to not hire this person, but I'm going to go after them. I don't know, but it's really not as picky as everyone says it is. Okay, when you're doing your resume, the one thing that you do not want to do is add an objective, like a generic statement of why you're applying to this particular job. Like, I want to obtain a position to utilize my skills, to work within a vibrant business community, or something like that. It's obvious. The purpose of a resume is to gain employment. Am I right? So you don't need to give that. That's useless information. Of course you want that. You're not giving a resume just to have something to do. It's obviously a resume. It's obviously a resume to get a job. It's not a roast beef sandwich to satiate your hunger. It's a resume. It has one purpose. You don't need to state the purpose. We don't need to put the purpose of everything that we do on everything. You should do this with your essays too. Don't ever put the purpose of this essay. The purpose of this essay is to do this. Well, you don't need to do that. Instead of saying what you're going to say, just say what you're going to say. Okay, I have 4 minutes. I'm going to try to roll through this really fast. Fancy templates or styles. Do not do them. Create your own resume. Okay? Because you would be lying to yourself if you thought you were the only person that made that did that style. So you might think that you're looking creative by using this template. You're not. You're looking like other people. And you're looking like people that were not creative, that were lazy, and that did not respect the work that they did. Create your own style. But if you do want to use a template like this, take a template and make it yours. Doctor it a little bit. Okay? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go through this really quick. Do not add anything that could invite discrimination. Don't disclose anything about your ethnicity, sexual orientation, religion, political affiliation, that you secretly love Bieber, any disabilities or prejudices. For one, they cannot not hire you because of this. And I know a lot of you guys might disagree with me on this. But we have to be equal opportunity. You can't, for one, if that's the case, don't tell them that right away. Let them hire you first. Let them deal with that in the interview process. But just don't, in your resume, don't reveal anything. Okay? So say you have a disability, and you need certain access things. You're in a wheelchair. Don't tell them that right away, because that might influence their hiring decision. Let them hire you first, and then they can deal with that. And they should deal with that. Not only should they, but they're required to. I'd like to look at the should before the required to, because I honestly think that it's just the right thing to do. Whether it's required or not, it's the right thing to do. Okay, sorry, there's a shaking in the background. They're doing some plowing. But anyways, don't give them anything that could invite discrimination. Sometimes your names. Sometimes if you have a name that is ethnic sounding or whatnot, or is a name of a particular gender, yeah, some people are going to judge you upon that, but that's kind of out of your control.